Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashita Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashita Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashita Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashita Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Srila Bhakti Balabatirtha Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. All the associates of Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Srila Baladev Vibhushan Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Ramananda Bhutrai Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Gosai Pad Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath, Sharda Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Surup Damodar Rai Ramanandari, Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Adaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Alamune Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. The Dainik Nadīyā Prakāśa Ki Jai. The head editor, writer, everything for it, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. All the periodicals of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and his followers Ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji, Madhavendra Puri Prabhu, Anjali Didi, Sarveshwari Mataji, and last but not least, Śrīvāsa Prabhu. Hari Bol. And also all the devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook. If you write a comment, then I'll know who you are, but right now you're just a number, but pranams to whoever that is. Hare Krishna, Rasapriya Didi. All right, so we are continuing on with our Sunday Dainika Nadīyā Prakāśa program. Sunday was the one day of the week that Dainika Nadīyā Prakāśa wouldn't be that wouldn't be go out, right? It was the one day that was the one pause day. So it's like, yeah, on the one break day, then we're I don't know. we're filling in the gap. Yeah. So this article that we're reading now was, what is it, March 17th, I think it was, in 1928, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to hand it over to Śrīvāsa. Oh, and if anybody wants to have access to these articles, go to nadiyaprakāsh.com, NADIYAPRAKASH.com. All right, so take it away, Śrīvāsa.
Will do.
Oh, wait, I always do this. It's like a daily thing. I have to give you permission to share your screen. Okay, now you can share. Did Gurudev actually sit on that chair?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I know he sat in the bed in the room here that's dedicated to him.
He probably
I'm
did.
Not sure about this one.
It looks like something.
Maybe. Well, he did. Yeah, I think he gave classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm speaking into a microphone here because some devotees are going to come. And this is going to be merged into the Malaysia program today.
Neat. Okay. Well,
Sounds
the
okay?
sound is good. Yeah, sound is good.
All right, so we're gonna jump right in and only have like an hour till our program starts. So I'm gonna keep questions and answers to a minimum and just read mostly.
And if you do run out of
Shri
time at
Shri,
the end, I can
yes,
you know what I mean? I can take like, yeah, I can pick
I'll
up
hand
for
it
you
over
where
to
you
you.
left off.
Sounds good. Shri Shri Guru Gaurango Jaitaha, 4th of Chaitra, Saturday, 1334, or March 17th, 1928. Nivedan, a request. The purpose of Nadīyā Prakāśa is to manifest the narrations of He who is manifested in Nadīyā. The topic of Nadīyā Prakāśa is Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Externally, there is no difference between Kirtan, or praise, and Hari Kathā, the topics of Hari. Forgive me for translating Kirtan as praise. I believe that was in the Bengali. Or of Hari Kathā, the topics of Hari. And Vishay Katha Kirtan, praise of material enjoyables. That which affects the satisfaction of our senses is the Kirtan of Vishay Katha. The objects that gratify the senses are Vishay. Therefore, any Harinam Kirtan that is performed with the inclination to gratify one's senses is also Vishay Katha Kirtan. And that which satisfies Krishna's senses is Kirtan of Sri Hari's Katha. The inclination to please Krishna determines whether what one performs is Vishay Katha Kirtan or Hari Katha Kirtan. Kirtan of Vishay Katha rouses momentary happiness for our bodies and minds, and Kirtan of Hari Katha fully satisfies the soul. Just as a tongue that is suffering from excessive pitta does not like mishri, sugar candy, it may be that at first we do not like the topics of Nadīyā Prakāśa. But if we serve the nectarious message of Nadīyā Prakāśa every day with honor, then we will not like anything besides the words of this Nadīyā Prakāśa. How long will we find the ever-fresh flavor of Vishay Katha appealing? As long as we fail to relish a higher taste. Exalted personalities of the past have referred to this Katha as Madhu Chakra, honeycomb. Again and again, the more you taste, the more you will be able to appreciate its sweetness. Discuss many of this material world. We should also endeavor to achieve the fulfillment of the soul. If we do not do that, we will be cheated of relishing real joy. Now, this next article is titled in the Bengali, Amriter Sandhan. So Sandhan is a cue or a trace or a lead. So a lead to immortality. Generally, in the religious world, 3 types of people are seen: karmis, jnanis, and bhaktas. The anyabhilashis are prone to akarma, inaction, and vikarma, bad actions. Hence, they are bereft of moral character. They have little acquaintance with the realm of religion. Those who are known as bhaktas in the religious world are otherwise known as Vaishnavas. Though Vaishnavas are naturally indifferent to the affairs of the world, they are preoccupied with striving for the welfare of the whole world and thinking about how the living entities can be freed from all sufferings and submerge themselves in supreme bliss. They are immersed in thinking about how the whole world can be full of joy. This is the sole vow and mission of their lives. This is their bhajan sadhan, worship and spiritual practice. Failing to comprehend this sort of undertaking of selfless endeavors, we see their material struggles and think, if Vaishnavas have to suffer material difficulties like we do, then they are also unhappy like us. So if we go to them, if we hear what they have to say, how will that be particularly helpful for us? The vyavaharik dukh, or experiential sorrow that we see in Vaishnavas who are full of empathy, is not actual sorrow. Suppose someone goes to a far-off land to make his fortune and does so, thereafter returning to his hometown. When he arrives home, he is overjoyed that whatever difficulties he faced on the road are not on his mind at all. The Vaishnavas are travelers on the road to Vaikuntha. Whatever troubles they face in the world are endured happily, like the inconveniences encountered in a long journey. This is why Thakur Vrindavan Das has said, Jata deko Vaishnavera vyavaharatuk nishchaya jani hotaha parananda sukh. Vishaya madanda saba kichui na jane vidya made dhana made Vaishnava na chine. Report. For those who are not Vaishnavas, this perishable life is everything. That there is something beyond the body and mind is not known to them. Therefore, whatever they do to alleviate the sufferings of body and mind is very exciting to them. And the exalted bhaktas know that material life is but one fleeting episode in a long journey. So by the power of Nityananda, what the Vedas refer to as immortality, they pass by the momentary experiential sorrows of their lives with utter disregard. That Nityananda, eternal bliss, or Amrita, for which unqualified persons made many efforts but could not attain because they were bewildered by Bhagavan's Asura Vimohan Shakti, demon bewildering potency. To distribute that same nectar from door to door throughout Nadīyā for the price of mere faith, the spotless moon of Nadīyā arose. So it was to distribute that Nityananda, which unqualified persons cannot attain despite all their efforts, because they're bewildered by Bhagavan's Asura Vimohan Shakti. That nectar, this spotless moon of Nadīyā Prakāśa, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to distribute. And even today, Gaura Rai performs those pastimes. Some fortunate souls can see. Brothers, we have spent millions and millions of lives enjoying material objects. How much pain, how much momentary happiness have we tasted? Do you not feel a desire now to taste nectar in the shelter of that Nadīyā Prakāśa and forever quell material sufferings? Like this, we're on a long road to Vaikuntha. So whatever troubles come in our life, no problem. Phalgu and Yukta Vairāgya continued from a previous issue. Pandit Gadadhar, who had been detached from material life since birth, went with his dear friend Mukunda Dutt to the amazing Vaishnava Pundarik Vidyanidhi. He went and saw that Vidyanidhi was sitting like a prince on an ornate bed, plated in brass and dusted with vermilion powder. Above him was a divine umbrella with frills and all. His bed was very soft, covered with a very fine sheet. He had huge embroidered pillows all around him. He had 5 to 7 ornate cups and pitchers of different sizes. In a small, beautiful box, he had various ingredients for tambul. He had a gentle smile on his lips, which were tinged red with the betel nut juice. 2 servants were constantly fanning him with peacock feather fans. He had urdhva pundra tilak markings in fragrant sandalwood on his forehead, which was also decorated with scented vermilion dots. His hair was beautifully combed and oiled with divine-smelling amalaki extract. Gadadhar's astonishment knew no bounds. In his mind, he thought, some Vaishnava I have come to see. Whatever faith I had when I heard about him just disappeared as soon as I laid eyes on him. The sweet singer Mukunda understood what Gadadhar was thinking. And in his sweet voice began reciting glorifying bhakti. Hearing them, Vidyanidhi began weeping. An extraordinary stream of blissful tears begins, like Ganga Devi herself, trembling, sweating, perspiration, roaring. Again speak ground and began rolling around. All of his luxurious paraphernalia were ripped and ornaments broken. His bed was covered with dust as he kicked, and "Where did my life go? You deprived of." Saying this, he became
Evil. Looks like Śrīvāsa's internet there's some problem. I'm just messaging him really quickly. Okay, maybe I should just take over. Oh, there you are. Śrīvāsa, can you hear me? You're muted right now.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
It started right before you started talking about Pundarik Vidyanidhi. It started breaking up for a while, like you were very choppy the whole time.
Okay.
Voice.
Okay. Is it better now?
I think so, yeah.
Should I go back or just keep going?
Maybe just go back a little bit, like before he started like going mad, like, yeah, before that section. So,
okay.
Yeah, because we missed a lot.
So hearing these verses, Vidyanidhi began weeping. An extraordinary stream of blissful tears began pouring from his eyes, like Ganga Devi herself had appeared there. One after another, trembling, sweating, fainting, horripilation, and other ecstatic symptoms appeared to their fullest degrees. He began roaring, "Again speak, again speak." Finally, he collapsed to the ground and began rolling around. All of his luxurious paraphernalia went flying everywhere, crashing and breaking. His costly clothes were ripped and ornaments broken. His bed was covered with dust as he kicked and flailed. "Where is Krishna? Where did the Lord of my life go? You have come as the most merciful incarnation, yet only I am deprived of your mercy." Still good?
Yes, but could you share your screen?
Oh, yes. Just taking time. Okay. Saying this, he began weeping piteously, falling to the ground repeatedly. No one could contain him. Every time he dropped, it felt like he was pulverizing his bones. This went on for a very long time. Finally, he fainted in ecstasy. He was alive. After almost 6 hours, Vidyanidhi regained consciousness and sat up. Ācāra was repentant for his judgment of him, and later, on Shiva's order, became Vidyanidhi's disciple. Sriman Mahaprabhu's eternal beloved associate, riding to the bank of the Godavari atop an expensive palanquin wrought with ornate craftsmanship. He had a huge retinue of servants and even a band. There was seemingly no limit to his affluence. Him recognized that he was Rai Raman. Rai saw one beautiful sannyasi with extraordinary bodily and came before him, bowing humbly. The Lord raised him to his breast and immediately. Later, to impart teachings to the souls of the world, he heard the ultimate secrets of Prema Bhakti from Rai's mouth. We see in accounts of Rai's life that in order to enact his Jagannath Vallabh drama before Sri Jagannath.
Haribol. God, I'm wondering maybe I should take over because the connection's really not so good. Sorry guys, just give me 1 minute. Okay, Śrīvāsa. You're muted again, and could you share your screen?
Yeah, sorry. Maybe there's a storm blowing in, so maybe you should read. Might be interfering with the internet here.
Okay. All right. Which sentence did you leave off with?
I was talking about the Jagannath Vallabh drama. So it's on the first page, last column, about halfway.
Okay, there.
Or closer to the end, sorry.
Okay, so we see in accounts of Rai's life. Right? Yeah, that. We see in accounts of Rai's life that in order to enact his Jagannath Vallabh drama before Sri Jagannath, he would tutor in private 2 young, beautiful Devdasis in dramatic arts of dance, song, facial expressions, and gestures, etc. He would bathe them with his own hands and dress them, put their ornaments on. He saw and touched their bodies most intimately, yet his mind was like stone, unperturbed. Sriman Mahaprabhu would say, only Ramananda has this qualification. His body is transcendental. There is no one but him who can understand his moods and thoughts. You are the zenith of knowledge about Radha and Krishna's prema ras. What are we to understand from examining the lives of these exalted personalities? Is Srila Sanatana Goswami's renunciation somewhat more than Pundarik Vidyanidhi's? Is Sri Rai Ramananda's behavior inferior to Sri Das Goswami's renunciation? If we start having thoughts like this, we will fall into committing grievous offenses to Vaishnavas and be bound for hell for all eternity. If we do not follow the teachings contained in the lives of all these exalted personalities and instead try to imitate them, then we will meet with total ruin. If we become sincerely inquisitive and examine these topics again and again by the grace of Sri Gurudev, who is none different from Bhagavan, we will, in due time, become capable of realizing who a real sadhu is and what Vairāgya is. Such a nice article. Okay, so now the next article, Ācāra o Pracāra, practice and preaching. On Śrīvāsa, if your internet connection ever gets better, then you can let me know and you can jump on. Like if you do a speed test thing or whatever and it looks good.
I'm technologically challenged. I don't know how to do that.
Okay. Okay. All right. So should I continue?
Yeah, please. Maybe one more article and we'll see. Okay.
Ācāra o Pracāra, practice and preaching. Nowadays, many believe that bhajan sadhana is best performed in solitude, and there is no need to preach. But this sort of conception is simply indicative of being poorly acquainted with the subject of bhajan. In reality, preaching alone is bhajan. This is the resounding verdict of the scriptures. However, only a person who practices can preach. If a person who does not practice imitates the preaching of Dharma by rattling off various passages of scripture like a parrot in hopes of accumulating some profit, worship, and prestige, then that is surely detestable. We never congratulate the conduct of such persons who are greedy for money, women, and fame. Yet we do not look at the conduct of the imitators and tell people to stop searching for the truth. Practice and preaching are mutually entwined. Seeing a person who is of exemplary conduct, others follow him. That is the Acharya's preaching. Hear what the scripture says. Mat chitta mat kata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantash chamam nityang tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying to his beloved friend Arjuna, O Arjuna, those whose hearts are exclusively set upon me, for whom I am life itself, hear what they do. They praise my name, form, beauty, etc. to others, and infuse their hearts with transcendental knowledge. These sorts of devotees relish the joy of bhakti during the phase of sadhana, and upon attaining their cherished goal, they attain the bliss of prem. I am a good devotee. Preaching will ruin my bhajan. This sort of impudent arrogance of being a devotee is never advisable. As servants of the Vaishnavas, we are to be humbler than a blade of grass. Therefore, rather than transgressing the words of scripture, sadhu, and guru, harboring outright arrogance in the heart, and heading thus to hell in the shelter of deceit, it seems best to be under guidance. Consider Sriman Mahaprabhu's instructions consider Mahaprabhu's instructions once. Jare deko tare koho Krishna upadesh, Amar agyay guru hoya, Amar agyay guru hoya, Taro e desh, Kabu na badibe tomar vishaya taranga. Should I translate that? So jare deko tare koho, to whoever you see, tell them the instructions of Krishna. On my order, become a guru and deliver the country, deliver all lands or whatever, a desh of this country. Kabu na bandive tomar vishay taranga. Then you won't be bound in the waves of sense enjoyment. Then you'll never be bound in the waves of sense enjoyment. Sorry, is that a bad translation? Okay. Preaching is bhajan. Preaching is bhajan. And those whose consciousness is fixed upon Krishna, whose lives are devoted to him, are worthy of becoming preachers. Just as preaching without practice is a kind of wickedness, so is trying to perform reclusive bhajan. If we become indifferent to these two mundane pursuits, trying to do solitary bhajan and preaching without practicing, and instead surrender exclusively unto Krishna, then all these topics will manifest in our hearts of their own accord.
Okay, I can try read the next one.
Okay.
I feel like that's all I try to do is either solitary bhajan or preaching without practice, by the way. Okay, I will share my screen again. Maunī Ke, who is silent? One day, in the early morning, living in Varanasi, Puri, one of the 7 liberation-bestowing holy cities, as I went to bathe at Dashashwamedha Ghar, I came across something terribly amusing. The cause of my amusement was one ash-besmeared, dreadlock-wearing Hindustani sannyasi sitting in front of a blazing fire. He had 4 disciples next to him, sitting in pairs to either side. All around the sannyasi stood about 10 or 12 onlookers, watching the sannyasi's Kriya Mudra practice. I had heard of this sannyasi's distinction from one of his chelas. He had come from the ashram of Vyas in Badari Caitra. He was very enlightened. He had adopted a vow of silence for some 20 years or so, etc. As I watched the Maunā Vrati, I felt a bit sad, but also somewhat amused. I saw that one of the onlookers was saying, "Sadhu Baba, my son is suffering from dysentery for the past year. Please give him some medicine." And another said, "I am stuck in a lawsuit. Please bless me that I can beat the suit," and so on. The sannyasi was simply not talking, but he was answering people's questions by moving his face and making various gestures. And he kept giving people little bits of ash from the fire. After my amusement with the sight of the sannyasi subsided, I went to bathe in the Ganga and began the senses you have given me, the faculties embedded in them. None of them are without purpose.
Śrīvāsa?
Cultivating you, yeah.
Sorry, it cut out when he said after my amusement with the sights. Could you just reread from that part? After my amusement.
After my amusement with the sight of the sannyasi Sabine,
Śrīvāsa? It cut out.
None of them are without purpose. Cultivating you, who are the others, is the
Okay, I think I gotta just take over. Yeah, sorry. I'll start over from that part. All right. Let me just type in the word amusement. Amusement. Okay. So the sannyasi was simply not talking, but he was answering people's questions by moving his face and making various gestures. And he kept giving people little bits of ash from the fire. After my amusement with the sight of the sannyasi subsided, I went to bathe in the Ganga and began thinking, "Oh God, all the working senses you have given me, and the faculties embedded in them, none of them are without purpose. Cultivating you, who are the Lord of the senses, with all our senses is the success of our senses. Whichever senses we have forcefully made averse to your service have become deviants. You have not given us eyes to keep them closed. The best use of our eyes is to behold your beautiful form and those of your dear associates. You have not given us ears to be deaf. Rather, hearing narrations concerning you is the proper use of our ears. Our noses are for smelling the fragrant items offered to you. Our tongues are for relishing your prasad and singing your Kathā and kirtan. Using our sense of touch for touching the limbs of your devotees is the proper use of our nose, tongue, and skin. Our words can be utilized to sing your praises. Our hands in serving your feet, our 2 feet in performing pilgrimage of your holy abode. All our senses can be utilized in your service. Then why are humans so deluded? By using his words to glorify you and perform kirtan, a man can find deliverance for himself and deliver thousands and thousands of other souls as well. This is true altruism. Simultaneously benefiting oneself and others. This can only be done through sankirtan of your names. So overcome with these sorts of thoughts, I returned to my lodgings. As I entered the building, I saw a Tridandi sannyasi. I know sitting with 3 brahmacharis. As I beheld their radiant, serene, and lustrous forms, a great enthusiasm surcharged my heart. I offered full prostrate obeisance to them and sat at the feet of that most excellent of Tridandis. The Tridandi asked if I was well, and I said, Prabhu, by your mercy, all is well. But today I am very eager to reconcile something. I see you are all reading Srimad Bhagavatam and loudly performing kirtan, etc. But I see so many sannyasis who literally do not talk. What is the reason for this? Is monavrat, or vows of silence, something prescribed in scripture? The exalted sannyasi was pleased with my question and said, this is a great subject. Yes, there is prescription of monavrat in scripture, but it does not mean what those who are not well acquainted with scripture think it means. The scriptures always explain that monavrat means subduing the urge to speak things unrelated to Krishna, and instead speaking Krishna Kathā and performing kirtan incessantly. I am performing kirtan now, speaking the instructions of the scripture to you. Hear this attentively. Statements are of 2 types. Paravyoma jata shrota, those that are born in the spiritual sky and heard, and itarvyoma jata shrota, those that are born in this other realm and are not heard from a spiritual source. Okay, so paravyoma jata. Jata means like born, arising, and should be shrota, should be heard, and itar means other, vyoma, so other than this paravyoma, jata, so born of the material world, in other words, and it's ashrota, it should not be heard. They are not heard from a spiritual source. Statements issuing directly from the lotus mouth of Bhagavan himself and passed down through disciplic succession are shrota. And statements that arise from the mental machinations of souls on the material platform are ashrota. Shrota statements arise from the transcendental platform and are themselves transcendental phenomena. Ashrota statements, however, arise from the mundane platform and are inert phenomena that simply dissolve back into the realm of matter. Ashrota statements comprise the urge to speak topics unrelated to Krishna. That vakya veg, or urge to speak, is of 3 types. 1. Statements that cater to the experiences of those who want to indulge in enjoyments separate from Krishna as they please. 2. The statements of those engrossed in karma kanda, who wish to reap the fruits of their actions. And 3. The statements of impersonalists absorbed in dry gyan kanda. 1. The Bhoktri Tattva, the enjoyer principle of all universes, is Krishna alone. And all objects of all universes are subservient to him. In other words, they are Karshna Tattva, elements of reality that are related to Krishna. Krishna and the Karshna are, in other words, of Krishna. So Krishna and those things belonging to him have a bond of inconceivable oneness and difference. When the Karshna jivas become bewildered by arrogance and forgets this relationship by assuming they are the doers, then they develop a mentality of enjoying Krishna and all that is related to him, the Karshnas. That enjoying mentality is itself Maya, or Krishnetara Vishaya, subjects of focus that is diverted from Krishna. And all topics related to these Vishaya comprise the urge to speak. And all topics related to these Vishaya comprise the urge to speak that which is other than Krishna. Okay, so that was referring to the first thing, right? Well, let's just go over these three things again. The urge to speak is of three types: statements that cater to experiences of those who want to indulge in enjoyment separate from Krishna, and the statements of those engrossed in karma kanda who wish to reap the fruits of their actions. Three, the statements of impersonalists absorbed in dry jnana kanda. So then one, we went through this, the bhoktri tattva. So the second one is this, statements of those engrossed in karma kanda who wish to. So let's see. Karma is of two types: actions that are performed to please Krishna's senses are called seva or bhakti. And that which is performed for the opposite purpose, based on hankerings for one's own happiness, is called kamya karma. All the activities of kamya karmi people, so all the activities kamya karmi people perform are linked with anyabhilashita. That means various material desires. There is no permanence to kamya karma. The karmi undertakes action with some goal in mind. Once he achieves that goal, or even if he fails to achieve it, he does not have the same sense of needing to perform that task again. Therefore, when karma itself has no permanence, then how can its results have any permanence? Whatever results karmis enjoy, heaven or hellish realms, depending on their pious or sinful deeds, when their sins or piety run out, then they have to leave that place and again become a mouse. Or is it puna mushika bhav, right? Something like that. Reverts to their, in other words, they have to revert to their original station. Yogis are in the same category as karmis. Their efforts are based on the belief that they can ascend by their own strength. Yes. The yogis employ dhyana, dharana, asana, pranayam, and other mundane means to discover transcendental Bhagavat Tattva, the principle of God, by the power of their own efforts. Instead of seeking the pleasure of Krishna, they are seeking their own gratification. Therefore, karmis and yogis are birth traversers of the ashrota path. Therefore, the words they utter are also classified as Krishnetara Vagaveg, impulses of speech disconnected from Krishna. Now we come to number 3. That was the path of Gyan, right? Number 3 was the statements of impersonalists absorbed in dry Gyan Kanda. Okay, so because the Gyanis do not have full perception of Bhagavat Tattva, which is comprised of Sat, Chit, and Ananda, they develop Chinmatravad, the doctrine that there is only transcendence and the material world. So because they do not have perception of Bhagavat Tattva, they develop Chinmatravad, which means the doctrine that there is only transcendence and the material world is a total illusion. And they become impersonalists. Because they assume that Sri Bhagavan's name, form, qualities, pastimes, associates, and other unique features are illusory, they are called Mayavadis. They refer to Brahma as beyond the grasp of Maya, and therefore make Ishwar a consort of Maya. They say that the bodies of all of Ishwar's incarnations are composed of Maya. They say that Maya has a role in the formation of the jiva. In other words, they say that all the ego and self-awareness of the jiva is made of Maya. So when the jiva becomes liberated, there is no such thing as a pure jiva. They say that in the liberated state, the individual soul becomes one with Brahma. Therefore, they do not accept the eternity of the master, servant, and service. Thus, they are offenders at the feet of the Lord. As they too are Ashrotapantis, their words are also Krishnetara Vagveg. Those who are striving to perform Krishna bhajan fully subdue all these Ashrota impulses born of this ulterior realm, and always honor the Shrota statements of the spiritual realm issuing from the mouth of Sadhguru. Shrotabhakya, or Krishna Kathā, is non-different from Krishna himself. By hearing and chanting that Kathā without offenses, one obtains the Shakshat Vastu, the real object, directly Krishna. Many people think that subduing a Vakya Veg, the impulse to speak, means one cannot talk about Krishna either, and that one has to curb one's speech altogether and stay mute. But this is not the reality. All that is needed is to subdue the sickness of the sick person. Someone killing a patient to kill the disease would not be praised as intelligent. Well, I killed the cancer, but I also killed the person. Yeah. So the real vow of silence is to not speak of any material topic and always perform Harikatha Kirtan very loudly. Let's reread that. The real vow of silence is to not speak of any material topic and always perform Harikatha Kirtan very loudly. This is real control of the urge to speak. Performing Kirtan and speaking Harikatha is the natural, healthy state of the jiva. Only the jiva who has forgotten his own nature and his own identity of servitude to Krishna can appreciate the need to speak about material things. Such persons say, if I don't talk about anything other than Krishna, how will I survive? They pose this sort of futile argument. One of Bhagavan's names is Rishikesh. The meaning of the word Rishika is senses. Serving Govinda, the Lord of the senses, with all one's senses, is real sense control. We have not obtained the power of speech to discuss the fleeting destination bestowing topics of the fleeting world, but to perform kirtan of topics that bestow the eternal goal, service to Krishna. Therefore, one who performs kirtan of Krishna Kathā at every moment is the real Maunī, or observer of silence. Hearing the words of the sannyasi preacher of Dharma, all our doubts were resolved and a powerful eagerness for Krishna Kirtan was born. Beautiful.
Jai Ho, thank you. Now I'm listening and I'm cooking khichdi for the devotees.
Okay. All right. Haribol. And I'm just looking at Shubhananda Prabhu's comment. Is there the story regarding this Puna Mushak Nyaya? Yes, there is. I mean, yeah, of course, I'm sure you know the story. It's a famous story. But I'm going to just continue on though. So, I
don't recall if that's why I'm asking that story.
Okay.
One yogi.
Yes.
One yogi, saw a mouse. No, the mouse came to the yogi and said, "Oh, I want to become a tiger." Right? And no,
I think he wanted to become he wanted to become a cat
okay,
because the cat was always chasing him. Well, let's see. I don't know. Yeah, there's a progression, and I don't remember the exact progression. Okay, I think it is mouse, cat, dog, tiger, I guess. So, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, this mouse goes to Yogi and says that, this cat keeps on chasing me and trying to kill me. So, please benedict me that I can become a cat, so that I won't be I won't be chased by this cat anymore. And so then the Yogi turns him to a cat. But then this dog starts chasing the cat and trying to kill the cat all the time. And so then the cat goes to the Yogi and says, "Please turn me into a dog so that I'll be safe from this dog." And so then he turns him into a dog, and then a tiger starts trying to attack the dog and chasing him all around. And so then that mouse, who's now in the form of dog, goes to the Yogi and says, "Please make me into a tiger so that this dog won't." And so then he turns him to a tiger, and then then in the form of a tiger, he sees a yogi and tries to kill him. And so then the yogi says, what is it? Puna musika bhava, right? Is it musika or mushaka? Yeah. Anyways, again, become a mouse. And so that's the story. All right. So Samasyāra Kathā, the problem. Samasyāra Kathā. There is a big problem. I have become a resident of the Dham. I take bath in the Ganga 3 times a day. I wear tilak. I chant at least no less than 2 or 3 lakh per day. I read Bhagavat a little too. I do archan also. I don't think I have made mistakes in my practice. Still, Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj says, you will get nothing. I do not understand why he says that, but it occurs to me there are 3 or 4 reasons why he says this to me. But anyways, a few faults is no big deal. Reading Bhagavatam, doing kirtan, showing the deity to people and taking money for these things is something the Goshaijis do of today. This is something that the Goshaijis of today practice themselves as a limb of Dharma. Reading Bhagavatam, doing kirtan, showing the deity to people, and taking money for these things. This is something that the Goshaijis of today practice themselves as a limb of Dharma. They have no issue with others consuming pan or tobacco either, because they consume all these things themselves. They have one thing they object to externally. But if you do that a little secretively, they have no reason to object, because they are probably doing the same in secret. Otherwise, why would they allow me to do so? I am following exactly the example the Goshaijis set. Still, Paramahansa Babaji Mahashai cannot look at me. The moment I come before him, he gets upset. When I get up and go, he spreads fresh cow dung over the spot where I sat. From time to time, I think, why don't I listen to what Babaji Maharaj is saying? He has some power that I don't have. He has some power that I don't have the courage. I don't have the courage to ask him questions. The other day, Babaji Maharaj was talking to one gentleman, but what he was saying seemed directed at me. Look, this Krishna bhajan. Look, this Krishna bhajan you have all started shouting about nowadays. You think it is so easy, some boys' game. I cannot figure out why people who lack a basic moral standard of life even have the courage to talk about the realm of bhajan. Where is this universe wrought? By Maya? Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Where is this universe wrought? By Maya? And where is that wish-fulfilling tree of Krishna's feet beyond the Vairāgya and Brahmaloka, at the top of the spiritual sky in the hidden dimension of Goloka Vrindavan? If a man can enjoy 116 annas worth of food instead of 16 annas worth, still his appetite does not subside. And that person wants to worship Krishna? I have to congratulate the courage. Is Bhagavat some ordinary thing? It is the direct form of Bhagavan. It is Bhagavan's incarnation as word. Bhagavatam's 1st and 2nd cantos are his feet. The 3rd and 4th are his legs. The 5th is his abdomen. The 6th, his chest. The 7th and 8th, his arms. The 9th, his throat. The 10th, his face. The 11th, his forehead. And the 12th, the top of his head. Why sell this Bhagavat? There is nothing a man won't do when he is engrossed in the enjoying mentality. What, Baba? What, Baba? Was there nothing else you could do in the world to fill your stomach? Why the drive to enjoy Bhagavan? The tendency to take money for kirtan, for showing the Sri Vigraha, is born of an attitude of wanting to enjoy Bhagavan. Bhagavan is to be served by all of us. You have to completely give up your desire for your own enjoyment and serve Krishna strictly for Krishna's pleasure. That is Bhagavad Bhajan. Atmendriya priti vansha tare boli kam, Krishnendriya priti icha dhore premanam. Though Kam and Prem appear to be the same externally, internally there is a difference of heaven and hell between them. Oh, and just because there's no translation here, I'll just quickly translate it. It says Atmendriya priti vansha, so the desire to satisfy one's own senses is called Kam. Krishnendriya priti icha, the desire to satisfy Krishna's senses holds the name Prem, is known as Prem. Okay, so though Kam and Prem appear to be the same externally, internally there's a difference of heaven and hell between them. Pan, tobacco, etc. are forbidden, even in general moral culture. Bhagavat has referred to such things as one of the 5 abodes of Kali. What to speak of illicit relations with women? Even looking at women is forbidden in scripture. The main thing is gold, women, prestige, and all the rest of the objects of this world are ingredients for Bhagavan's service. If you project an enjoying mentality on those things, then what you are doing becomes yoshit sangha, illicit activity. The Mahajans say, Tomara kan, this is from Dushta Mantumiki Ser Vaishnava Vaishya Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Tomara kanaka bhoger janaka kanakir dware sevaho madhava kamanir kam nahi tava dham tahara malika kevala yadava. Whatever belongs to Yadav must be given to Yadav without any thought to enjoy it. We must accept the remnants of Yadav's enjoyment as Yadav's prasad, or his mercy, and thus maintain our lives somehow. Oh wait, this wasn't translated either. Okay, so your kanak, your gold, Bhoger Janak, is the, what would he say, is the source of your enjoyment. But kanakir dware, but through kanak, through wealth, through this gold, sevaho madhav, you should worship Madhav. Kamanir kam nahi, desire for women, nahi tavadam, this is not your domain. Dahar malik, it's only proprietor. Keval Yadav is only Yadav. So whatever belongs to Yadav must be given to Yadav without any thought to enjoy it. We must accept the remnants of Yadav's enjoyment as Yadav's prasad, or his mercy, and thus maintain our lives somehow. The purpose is the service of Yadav. Krishna is the eternal master. The jiva is his eternal servant. Krishna's eternal service is the jiva's only easy, natural inclination. Krishna bhajan is very unnatural or difficult for one who does not have this sambandha gyan, this knowledge of relationship. If one obtains this sambandha gyan by the grace of a bona fide guru, then nothing is hard anymore. Wow, nothing is hard anymore. If one obtains a sambandha gyan by the grace of a bona fide guru, then nothing is hard anymore. Therefore, when there is such a beautiful process, why do human beings engage in deceit in the name of Bhagavad Bhajan? I cannot understand this. If someone just straightforward commits an offense, suddenly and begs for forgiveness out of a desire to not commit that offense again, then Bhagavan will forgive him one day. But Bhagavan never forgives the offense of hypocrisy committed by one who knows and has heard. Instead, he takes the fearsome form of Narasingha and rips that person's chest open. Therefore, you should try to proceed with great caution. A phony devotee of Gora only wears tilak for show. Gora catches the chest of Gora catches the Gora catches the cheat who engages in secret sinful activity. Since I heard everything Babaji Maharaj said that day, I have become gripped by great dread. Okay, so all that I just read now, that was all Paramahansa Babaji Maharaj speaking. So since I heard everything Babaji Maharaj said that day, I have become gripped by great dread. But my forehead is so burnt, in other words, my luck is so bad, that as long as I am with Babaji, I think, I will not do all this anymore. I will follow the teachings of the Mahajans. But as I leave Babaji Maharaj's presence and mix back into the crowd, I forget everything. But now, when I go to do something wrong, I can no longer do it without hesitation. How is it that my heart starts pounding heavily in my chest? Sometimes I even let out a cry saying, Babaji Maharaj, Babaji Mahashai, save me, and start sobbing. People think, oh, finally, this guy went crazy. Let us see Paramahansa Babaji let us see if Paramahansa Babaji has mercy on this luckless wretch or not. My life is so shameful. My life is so very shameful. It has taken me this long to realize that my living in the Dham has just been a show. Wow. Very sobering article. Wow, I want to reread that. Sorry, guys, I wasn't reading very, like I kept on messing up, but yeah. Sometimes I'm in a reading mood and sometimes I'm not. So right now, all right, so now we go to the news, Nana Kathā, various topics. Okay, so the Lilua strike is going on today. Leaders of the labor union, representatives of the trade union, and representatives of the workers at the Lilua factory got together for a sit-down last Friday evening. Comrade Sringara Bhelu from Madras spoke at the labor meeting and has petitioned the agents to reconcile matters. Muslim laborers went to Friday prayer and were an hour late. To spend that one additional hour per month, Muslim workers have organized a meeting to voice their protest. Okay, next. Between Tribanga and Dhulian stations on the Bandel Barharwa line, two cargo cars of the 55 up passenger train have derailed. Fortunately, there have been no casualties. Next. In America, there has been an earthquake of severe magnitude in the San Francisco Valley. And this is what, year 1928. So a 100-foot dam located some 40 miles up a canyon from San Francisco has collapsed due to the earthquake. Approximately 400 people have lost their lives due to the flooding. Wow. That is, I've never heard of that. That's a lot of people. All water supply to the entire city came from this dam, and many doubt whether or not it was an earthquake that actually caused this catastrophe. Okay, next.
On March, later revealed that it was because of faulty engineering, and there's remnants of the dam still somewhere up north of San Francisco.
Oh, wow. That's like massive news. But there's a Wikipedia article on it. Is that where you got that also?
Yep.
Okay. On March 7th, a serious clash occurred between Hindu and Muslim communities in Alagram, Mathura, over an affair with a woman. In the riot, 20 Muslims were injured. One person died, and reports state that a butcher's shop was completely looted and destroyed. My God. Police have been stationed there so another riot does not break out. The assistance of the Bharatpur King's police force has also been accepted. What happened was a Hindu lady left her home and was living with a Muslim. A case was filed with the Ācāra magistrate to liberate the woman. The magistrate ruled that when the woman has chosen the butcher as her lover of her own accord, it was no fault of the butcher. The Hindus were not satisfied with the ruling and instigated the riot. The frustration of lust produces anger. Was it kama bhavati samoha? Yeah, sorry, it doesn't. Anger comes later. Okay, so next. Reports from Colombo for March 14th revealed that 2 express trains running from opposite directions on the same line created a terrible collision. It seems the drivers of both trains didn't know what was happening because the line is rather winding. Who can say how many people died in untimely death in an accident like that in the middle of the night? Initial reports are that 24 people are confirmed dead, while another 41 have life-threatening injuries. The engines were smashed to pieces. This is how disasters happen. Next. Last Wednesday, the students of City College Hostel and Ram Mohan Roy Hostel submitted a long letter of appeal to the registrar of the University of Kolkata, requesting permission to stay in the hostel up until summer holidays. Where are the students supposed to go if they suddenly tell them to leave? They have already paid the college fees and hostel charges for the entire period before summer vacation. What benefit will the authorities gain by causing such academic losses to these students? All of them wants to know. Okay, next. Minister of Aviation, Sir Samuel, I don't know how to say that name, but or whatever, or I don't know. He stated in the London Commons meeting on March 12th that within a year, 2 airplane routes will be prepared. Mail will be able to be sent back and forth via these routes, taking 7 days from London to Delhi and 9 days from London to Kolkata. Officials are promising all facilities of air travel to Persia, Iran, but they are sad to report that nevertheless, Persia is blocking the air route. England wants to build an airport in Persia at its own expense. Wow, so I wonder if before this time, to get letters from London to Delhi, it just had to go by ship. So it must have been very slow correspondence. I don't know, that's just, I guess. Okay. On the 15th of last March, there was a plan, and this is what, 17th, so it's 2 days before, right? So on the 15th of last March, there was a plan for Lord Singh to visit India from London. I don't know what's up with my scrolling. On Tuesday, March 13th, at a meeting of the Indian National Council, Mr. Chari proposed the opening of a flying school for Indian youth. The government did not find Mr. Chari's proposal worthwhile, so despite the votes in favor, the proposal was rejected. Ugh, so unfair. Anyhow, independence will be coming. Actually, I think independence came like what, maybe 10 years after this or something like that? Or 20 years? Anyways. An extravagant royal feast was held at Buckingham Palace in London on March 14th in honor of the King and Queen of Afghanistan. In a speech at the royal banquet, King George extended special honor to the royal couple and, in the course of his speech, expressed his wishes for the royal couple's long life and uninterrupted mutual cordial relations. Afghan King Amanullah spoke in Parsi, thanking the emperor for the welcome he had shown as befitting a friend, which promised that the emperor and his own government would establish good relations. He expressed his confidence that the two countries would progress side by side on the path of development. Interesting. Okay, on March 13th, members of the commission went to the Lahore High Court, and Sir John Simon was given a seat next to the Chief Justice. They were greeted at the government palace. And Śrīvāsa, if you have anything to say on any of these, oh, is Śrīvāsa still there?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you ever have anything like any more insight on any of these things, feel free to jump in.
Well, it's interesting about Iran blocking the Britain wanting to build an airport there, given how relations are between Iran and the West now. Seems like things started back then. They were resistant to the imperialists having, you know, air bases there. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Wonder if yeah, it's very deep seated, huh? These tensions. I mean, like going for a long time back. Okay. A European landholder went hunting and accidentally mistook a dark-complexioned native for a black boar and shot him, wounding him severely. The injured man is in hospital. The owner of the land has been released on bail, and the trial will begin soon. I wonder if he was just like, no, I thought he was a boar, but yeah, actually, it's probably like not true. Probably because how do you mistake a
that
human?
story is pretty sus, isn't it?
Yeah,
like...
it sounds very far-fetched. How could he say that? I thought it was a boar, a human being. Anyways, in England, the community of Ahmadiyya Muslims have given King Amanullah a letter of welcome. Afghan King Amanullah and Queen Soraya are being received with all due honor in England. Emperor George V and Queen Mary of India are monitoring the reception and treatment of the royal visitors to ensure that there are no errors. The Afghan royal couple are spending their time very pleasantly. How do you say it? Lieutenant, sorry. Lieutenant Sir Dwijendranath Mukherjee of the Royal Indian Marines has been receiving education and training at the Naval Barracks in Portsmouth. On April 20, he will travel to India, where he will take over responsibilities in the Indian Navy. Okay. April 20th is the birthday of Hitler. Don't ask how I know that. Okay. Last Sunday night, a severe fire
How do you know
that? Because Jonava's birthday is the day before. Okay. So last Sunday night, a severe fire broke out in a part of Rangoon's Prom City, causing nearly 57 houses to burn. Although the damage is significant, fortunately, no lives were lost. Next, students in Egypt are still protesting. However, they are much calmer than before. On March 12th, students at a place called Cathā showed a bit of agitation. Okay, so that's it for world news. Now we're getting local news. In Nadīyā district, the elders are very concerned about the crops of mango and tamarind and what their outcome will be. Hana wrote, more mangoes means more rice, more tamarind means more floods. So now the elders are in great dilemma trying to figure out how it is possible to have a combination of good rice yields and devastating floods. I don't understand that. How does tamarind mean more floods? Do tamarind trees? Yeah, I don't actually understand that at all. Anyhow.
It's like
okay.
Apparently, like, you know, in the years that the tamarind yields are high, those years tends to be more floods. It's like, you know, old grandfather wisdom.
Okay.
And it might be
or
something
Bengali
scientifically based. Yeah, it might be Bengali superstition, or it might be has some scientific base, you know, maybe the the roots are reaching the rising water table first, and then we see all this, abundance of crop in the tamarind tree, and then woo, lo and behold, we get a flood. Maybe.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Today again, there was not a drop of rain. The air seems to be shimmering with the intense heat of the sun in all directions. Cases of infectious diseases like cholera and smallpox are increasing gradually. The ponds are drying up and the fish are practically dead. The water crisis you see in every direction in Nadīya's district does not seem to be happening anywhere else. Yeah, because March is just like the summer, yes, like very beginning of summer. So it shouldn't be so hot then. People living anywhere except for the neighborhoods right by the Ganga or Jalangi are suffering severely due to lack of water. The threefold miseries, Adhyatmika, individual personal miseries, Adidaivak, caused by fate or unseen forces, and Adibhotik, caused by other living entities, increase in proportion to people's aversion to Bhagavan. I like that little note at the end. Okay. Our Nadīyā district's most competent member of the Bengal Legislative Assembly, Mr. Vasant Kumar Lahiri, has been sentenced to 8 years imprisonment on charges of torture related to the Bengal Lakshmi cotton mill, and has also been dismissed from his very prestigious membership in the Legislative Assembly. So he's torture related to the cotton mill. Back before he was elected, we, in Nadīyā Prakāśa, pleaded with citizens not to elect him, but to vote for a worthy, suitable person instead. But people were taken in by his dazzle and aired, choosing the Makala fruits. Makala fruits is the outwardly shiny, appealing-looking red ball snake gourd, which is bitter and has a large, ugly black core. Have you seen what is inside now? This time, the rumor is the following individuals will stand for election. There's Yukta Indubhushan Bhaduri, Nagendra Nath Mukhopadhyay, Ranjit Pal Chaudhary. Another 21 people have also come dancing up for election. Let's see how far they all go. Okay. Next, the capable district and session judge of Nadīyā, Sahib J. Uni, has been transferred. His farewell will be held tomorrow in Krishnanagar. Next, Nidaya pound mail was 35 taka last year. This time, the inhabitants of Nidaya village owe 188 taka because of the stubbornness of both parties. What's pound mail? Śrīvāsa? Nidaya pound mail. Anyhow, it's interesting.
Yeah,
Nidaya.
I would research that. I don't understand what it is. I think it's maybe like mail or cargo shipments by the pound. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yes, and Nidaya Ghat. That's just right, like through Mayapur, right on the other side there. I went there recently with what's his name, with the Sajjan Maharaj, Shripad Sajjan Maharaj. Okay. They have lots of boats there. Okay, there is a campaign in full swing at present to send widows from the Ranir Chara Widows Ashram and other places in Navadvip town to Punjab, Lahore, and other places. Wow, okay. The current competent sub-inspector of the Navadvip police station, Mr. Basant Kumar Ghatak, has brought to light many details about this ashram, about how they created a new way to make money by co-signing women against their wishes. Many Punjabis and Lahoris have been arrested. The manager of this widow's ashram is named Lakshman Das Marwari. Yikes. Okay, Nadīyā Town's SDO, that's subdivisional officer, Shri Yukta Surendranath Vasu Mahashai, has taken a 4-month leave due to physical illness, and in his place, Meherpur's competent subdivisional magistrate, Shri Yukta Advaita Charan Samanta, has taken over all responsibilities. The day before yesterday, The next one. The day before yesterday, a terrible fire broke out in Gorni Panchabariya near Krishnanagar. About 12 to 14 houses were burned, and the residents there suffered significant losses. We read about houses burning a lot, don't we, in these Nadīyā Prakāśa issues? All right, so that was our Nadīyā Prakāśa reading for today. Another day in Sri Chaitanya Mat, or in Nadīyā. So I'll end with a small kirtan, and we will finish our program there. And Śrīvāsa, how much longer are you going to be in Malaysia for?
We're leaving this afternoon, and
this
so
afternoon?
hopefully next time I'll have a better internet connection.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for holding it down.
No problem. I don't know what's up. Sometimes I'm like in a really good reading mood, and sometimes I'm not. Today was not one of those days. Anyhow, thank you for being very patient.
Just careful. And
no, but sometimes it does flow well. But,
syntax.
Yeah. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Are you still cooking right now, Śrīvāsa? Like, do you want to do Jaidvani?
No, I can do Jaidvani. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Radha Bino Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ju Ki Jai. Jai Niti Leela Prabhupada Vishnupad Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Niti Leela Prabhupada Vishnupad Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Niti Leela Prabhupada Vishnupad Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Niti Leela Prabhupada Vishnupad Shri Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Sapashad Jai Guru Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Mahabhagavad Prabhu Shri Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Saptam Goswami Satchidananda Shila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Gauri Vedanta Acharya Shri Baldev Vidyabhushan Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Narottam Śrīvāsa Shyamananda Prabhu Tray Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Swarup Damodar Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Goshi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopi Go Govardhan Dwadash Panakush Bhajamandal Dham Ki Jai. Radha Kund Shyam Kund Yamuna Ganga Bhakti Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Sarva Bhishta Pradata Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashankari Shri Nrsimha Bhagavan Ki Jai. Bhakta Pravar Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Charya Dham Chari Dham Chari Acharya Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai. Ācāra Maṭrāya Shri Chaitanya Maṭh Ki Jai. Dainik Nadīyā Prakāśa Ki Jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai. Anantakuri Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Online Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shnitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Madhukarji.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. All right, so everybody, thank you for sticking till the end. And let's see who's here. Oh, and just before, all these articles that we read are available on nadiyaprakāsh.com, NADIYAPRAKASH. I think I want to reread some of those because, yeah, they're very special articles today. All right, so Dandavat Pranams, my dear brother Śrīvāsa, and Sarveshwari Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, Shri Devi Didi, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Champak Mataji, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Indira Mataji, Ashray Prabhu, and let's see on YouTube and Facebook who is there. Rasapriya Didi, Amit Dandekar, Raseshwari Mataji, Vidya Lalasa Didi. I don't know how to say that name. And I see, 9 devotees on YouTube and Facebook. Dandavat Pranams to all of you. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, so tomorrow, let's just look at the calendar. What's coming up? So tomorrow is Ācāra Ekadashi and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur's appearance day. Then in 4 days from now is Amavasya. And on Amavasya, we're going to start, if it works out, I think we're going to start a new program where we're going to read all the first articles, like all the articles written by Gurudev, starting from the very beginning. And was it like 1949 or something like that, the first article by Gurudev, Śrīvāsa? Anyways, it's like very, like about Ananga Mohan, was that 1949 or something? I don't know. Anyways, like the early 50s. Yeah, early 50s. And so that's going to be a program we do every Amavasya. Śrīvāsa he's translating all the articles written by Gurudev and Bhagavad Padma.
When is the next Amavasya? I forgot.
4 days from now. It's in 4 days from now, June 6th.
Okay. All right.
Would that work for you?
Sounds good.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then 13 days from now is disappearance day of Baladeva Vijabhushan, and then the day after that, in 2 weeks, is the appearance of Ganga Devi and Ganga Mata Goswamini, Ganga Dashahara. And that's what's coming up. All right, so Dandavat Pranams, Jai Shri Radhe. See you all next time. Oh, and tomorrow we'll continue on with our Bhaktivinoda Kirti Tara program. All right, Hare Krishna.